How do everybody? What I'm about to talk about right now probably isn't going to come as too much of a surprise to many of you, as it has been quite big news all day. But it's basically about that attack that's just happened in Sydney in their evening, but during our daytime, at an Orthodox Christian church. The stabbing itself is absolutely horrendous, and it's also come off the back of the obviously mass stabbing that happened in the Bondi Shopping Centre in Sydney. Absolutely terrible. Now, me personally, I don't think the two are necessarily directly linked. I know quite a few people think that first one was a jihad attack. I don't. I'm not convinced by that at all. And I do think the grainy footage does actually match the identification of the gentleman himself. I do think that the link between the two is only quite a slight one, in that I do think that the stabbing that's just happened at this church, I do believe the attacker has probably been thinking about this for a long time, and he's been spurred on by the obviously confusion and the emotions that have been caused by the previous stabbings. That's as far as I think that the actual link is. Now, people might say, "Oh, don't you think it's a bit of a massive coincidence that these have happened at the same time?" It's like, well, it is a little bit, but Australia, although it's not a densely populated part of the world, it's still got about something like 33 million people in it. That means there's 30 to 33 million variables in the country. So it's not beyond the realms of probability or possibility that these two very serious incidents could happen, very, very close to each other, especially if this gentleman who's just committed this horrendous attack today has already been thinking about it. Probably been spurred on by what's going on in around the sort of Israel, Middle East part of the world. Absolutely terrible. I think there's been about 4 people stabbed. I don't believe anybody's died, thankfully. But, and this is the more important part, and it links into some of my other videos that I have been doing, it's been the response of people in the area. I'll link some videos in, but basically that area of Sydney has descended into absolute chaos. Now, obviously, tensions will have already been quite high after the stabbings that had already happened in the shopping centre. But this man who has been stabbed, this priest, incredibly popular individual, has quite a significant online presence. I believe he has about 100,000 YouTube followers. Does global sermons. I believe he came to popularity during the COVID lockdowns. But ever since then, he's been an incredibly popular individual. Very beloved. But I do think that this is, so to speak, we're starting to see a turn in the West in the psychology of what people that you would call passive Christians, because Christians are quite famed as nations to be quite passive and quite live and let live as general citizenry. And people don't quite have the stomach for things like, say, the death sentence, or things like flogging. The general population can be quite meek in regards to that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, my views on that is I fully support the death sentence. I fully support flogging, but I do understand that I am, at least in a Western country, I'm quite the outlier, at least in being vocal about it. But I do think we are starting to see a shift in attitudes, especially with these riots, because in some of the footage I've seen, the crowd were chanting, "Get him out! Get him out! Get him out!" And there's also people shouting, "Eye for an eye." Basically, the crowd want to lynch him. I don't think they want the police to get hold of him, and I don't think they want him to go to court. I think the crowd want to do vigilante justice. Now, obviously, on a video like this, I cannot condone vigilante justice. The law must be seen to enact, because if the law doesn't work and fails to act, then you don't have a society. Vigilante justice is really, when your country's descending into anarchy, that is not a good place to be in. So not even for legal reasons, for actual civilizational reasons, I can't really condone vigilante justice. But anyway, I'm going to leave that at that point. Like I say, I'll share those videos below. There's plenty more on Twitter for you to have a look at. They're easy enough to find, and those links should help you find other videos as well. The ones I've shared don't really show anything blood-wise or anything like that. It's just the crowds of people really unhappy. But this now links into this article that I've got here, which is the Church of England basically admitting that they may have had a little whoopsie. So we may have been scammed by asylum seekers, admits Church of England. Yeah, may have been. That word "may" is doing a hell of a lot of heavy lifting, in my opinion, and I think they may be underselling what the actual damage that they've done to this country in regards to blindly allowing people to get baptised. As the old saying goes, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, and that's what the Church of England have actually created, especially with that recent alkali attacker, and he's not the only one. So the Church of England has admitted for the first time that it may have been scammed by asylum seekers. Once again, that word may is doing a lot of heavy lifting right there. There is no may about it. They absolutely have been scammed by them, and I think they've been willfully scammed. I think they've wanted to be scammed simply to make it look like the numbers are good on their books. Falsely claiming to have converted to Christianity to boost their chances of staying in the UK. The Right Reverend Dr. Julie Francis Dequani, the Bishop of Chelmsford, conceded it was very difficult to look into the hearts of converts and be 100% certain that they were genuine. Well, this bishop sounds like he or she, it's a she, may have non-native lineage, and because of their own experience of either themselves or family members being from outside of the UK, they may be looking at other people from outside the UK with a very specific tilted point of view, maybe with rose-tinted glasses on, and they may be allowing their own emotional attachment to their own history with immigration. They may be allowing that to cloud their judgment. Now, call me out on that if you want. Tell me I'm chatting BS all you want, but I believe that may be accurate and correct in saying that. She acknowledged there had been a small number, just a small number, of alleged abuses, but said the clergy do the best they can, and it was ultimately the job of immigration tribunal. You see, that winds me up, that, because these people know just how much influence they have over these tribunals, and they know for a fact that them vouching for them will almost guarantee that they get to stay in the country. And to try and palm it off on the immigration system is a dereliction of their own responsibility. That is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And as Christians, they should be ashamed for lying like that. They know that they are going to be judged by God for what their actions are and for the words that they say through their life. And to try and palm off their own responsibility onto another organisation, to try and avert their own accountability, is satanic. These people are disgusting, and they shouldn't be wearing the cloth of God. Absolute charlatans. But it was ultimately the job of immigration tribunals and the Home Office to assess and vet the validity of asylum claims. Well, I mean, technically, yes, they are correct that the person who does say the final yes is the Immigration Tribunal and the Home Office. They are technically correct. However, like I say, they are not acknowledging their responsibility in that process, that they are looked upon to give an opinion and a character reference, and that judgments will be made upon the information given to them in the tribunal by the clergy. Her comments come after robust denials by the Church of England of claims by senior MPs and whistleblowers that clergy have been routinely supporting bogus asylum claims and enabled a conveyor belt of thousands of asylum seekers to convert. Yeah, charlatans, these people. They aren't Christians. These are people who've got serious white saviour syndrome going on, and they are getting a massive dopamine hit from getting all these poor people from these underdeprived countries. Oh, it's such a shame for them. Let's get you living in England. And it's such a shame for you. That's what it comes down to. It's their feelings and how it makes them feel when they are doing this, and the dopamine hit that they're getting in their brains. These people are junkies, and they are destroying this country to make themselves feel virtuous. And it is disgusting. The Church of England is absolutely failing us at this point in history. Henry VIII, if he saw what the Church of England was like today, he'd be having their heads lopped off. There's no joke about that. You know, he absolutely would not be accepting this in any way, shape or form. As the founder of the Church of England, it is actually important to state that fact, you know, of what he would think on this. He would absolutely not stand for this level of behaviour. Like I say, and I'm not being hyperbolous there, he actually would have their heads chopped off for this, for treason, for what they're doing. Obviously, they are being scammed, and they obviously know they're being scammed. And to allow this to happen, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm winding myself up here and I'm going to end up with my blood pressure going through the roof. I'll put a link in for this article if you want to read the rest of it yourself, but it just basically goes on about Abdullah Zidi and all the other rubbish that goes on with that. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy that the Church of England, and the fact that they're admitting that they lied about it, tells you that they are a non-Christian organisation by the fact that they felt they've had to lie about it this whole time. It shows you just how much sin they are actually in and how far they've fallen as an organisation. I'm going to leave it at that. Have you found that interesting, insightful? You know, whether you agree with me or not, if some of that information is new to you, hopefully it is. It's giving you something to think about. Please do like, subscribe. Definitely put a comment below. I always try to get back to people as quick as I can. Even if you don't agree with me, please do comment to me. You know, I'm not a closed book. I'm willing to change my mind on things, and if you feel you've got a strong enough argument, I will read it. And if it is reasonable enough, and I'm not above changing my mind and taking on other people's points of view, so please do comment below. I'm going to leave it at that. We're getting on to 11 minutes now. Thank you. Goodbye.